Okay, so today we're going to do what I hope is a pretty easy mod to this mini bike. So the Coleman BT200X. This is my wife's bike. It's pretty much brand new, but we've used it to kind of just ride around some trails. And for me, I find that it's a bit jarring. When it came from the factory, the tire pressure was a bit high, so I lowered that down, and that actually helps quite a lot. I could actually maybe lower the pressure a bit more. But anyway, I find the seat is a bit of a rough ride when the trail's rough. So my plan for today is to add some suspension to the seat. And so this seat, it's just foam. You know, it's just cheap, but it's not bad. What my plan is to change that is to add some springs. And I got this as a kit from Amazon, and it was $19 Canadian, so like, I don't know, 15 bucks US. And it's just a couple springs and a hinge. And so that should work. We'll mount it so that obviously hinged at the front, springs at the back. There's been other people, there's other videos on YouTube that show basically this exact same mod with kind of varying variations on how exactly it's implemented. So anyway, I'll do it my way. We'll see how it works. So here's my plan. This is the hinge that's going to go on the front here. This is where the seat would normally lock in. So on the back of the seat here, it's got these tabs. I'm probably just going to cut those off. This is just a plastic pan. So what I'm going to do, hinge will go on here. There's a little tab here. I mean, I could mount it on top, but I think that'll get the seat a little too high. I'd like to keep it fairly down low to the frame. So I could either cut that tab off and just put it flush under there, but I think what I'll do is use a spacer under there, and then that way the hinge will be fairly close, and as long as I mount it in the right spot, it should articulate just fine. How that goes in relation to the seat, it's actually going to kind of line up. This bar here will actually line up pretty well with that slanted area on the seat, so that's going to go there. So on the back side here, basically that'll go in there. So that'll be the hinge. On the back side here, this was the bracket that was attached to the seat, so it's got these like nutsert type deals into the plastic pan. That's where that was bolted to, and then this bracket bolts onto the frame. I probably will reuse this bracket. I was thinking about just welding a plate on the back here. I might do that, but we'll see. If I can, I'll just reuse that bracket there. And then of course the springs will go in between, and then I have to mount the springs onto the seat here. For the seat, this is just plastic. It is a bit flexible. It's not terrible actually, but I think what I'll do is I'll reinforce this. I'll put probably aluminum plate. That way the hinge will bolt onto aluminum plate here, and then springs will bolt onto the remainder of the aluminum plate. To attach the plate to this, I'll just put some nutserts into the plastic. I think that'll work okay. I'm just using scrap from the scrap pile. This will be the spacer, and what I'll do is I'll probably weld it onto there, and then it'll bolt on, using those holes, bolt onto that. And then for the seat pan, I'm actually going to use this steel. This is, I don't know, probably about an 1/8 inch steel. I'll just scrap. So on the steel plate here, these holes line up with these plastic, or these nuts into the plastic. And it's a metric thread. These will probably be too short, but I, by chance, have some metric bolts kicking around. So those will go in there, and then actually like a series of washers, and then the spring. So that's what will bolt the spring on there. I've got 2 other holes on the top here, and then 2 more here. These ones will actually go, that's where we'll attach the bracket on the top. And then here will just be straight into the plastic just for extra support. So I'm going to put some nuts into the plastic there, and here as well actually, and then it'll be the bracket centered in the plate, and then the plate, and then of course springs.
Okay, so that's it.
That was a nice easy project. I think it looks decent and it works really well. I've been able to ride it around quite a bit lately, and this seat really makes a big difference. That harshness from the ride is much, much better, so it's great. See ya.